Your brain is not your friend. That may sound dramatic, but it's the reason. Most people stay stuck. Your brain isn't trying to make you successful, it's trying to keep you alive. And to stay alive, it pushes you toward the safest path, least effort, and least risk. Hi there! We're introducing a new feature where I can read this aloud in a natural, human-like voice. That's why you hesitate the moment you're about to do something meaningful. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're wired for survival. But here's the truth. The same brain that limits you can be rewired. It can work for you. Today, you'll learn how to override hesitation and disrupt fear. Let's start with the survival loop. The uncomfortable truth is, your brain doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about survival, energy conservation, and keeping things in a safe, predictable zone. This wiring comes from ancient times. Doing less meant living longer. Avoiding pain meant staying safe. So whenever you try to do something difficult, work out, study, or start a new project, your brain activates its oldest script. Stop. Too tiring, too risky, too much trouble. This survival loop shows up as overthinking, exhaustion, and the familiar phrase, "I'll start tomorrow." The longer you obey it, the stronger it gets. You become a watcher instead of a true warrior. You become someone who consumes more than they create, someone who plans endlessly but never executes. Comfort, when repeated for years, becomes a cage you learn to decorate. Breaking that loop begins with understanding it. And that brings us to a new concept. Pain as power. Pain has been misunderstood for far too long. Most people treat it as a warning. If this feels uncomfortable, stop. If this feels scary, retreat. But psychologically and neurologically, that's completely backwards. Pain is not a warning. Pain is the price. It's the currency the brain demands in exchange for strength and transformation. Any meaningful pursuit requires you to pass through discomfort, not avoid it. Here is the mindset shift. The thought, "I don't feel like it," becomes, "Good, that means I must." Discomfort is not danger, it's adaptation. When your muscles burn, they are growing. When confronting fear, the mind builds resilience. Pain is not the enemy, avoidance is. The moment you stop running and use difficulty as your signal to act, you are no longer a slave to your brain. The next step is learning to interrupt that resistance. Introducing the 3-second override. Science shows, if hesitation lasts more than a few seconds, your brain activates its threat response system. It will find every excuse to stop you. And over time, this hesitation becomes an automatic habit. The solution is simple but extremely effective. You have exactly 3 seconds to act. When you wake up and don't want to leave the warm bed, 3, 2, 1, stand up immediately. When you face work and feel resistance inside, 3, 2, 1, begin. When you are afraid to speak up or hesitant to try, 3, 2, 1, move. No overthinking, just movement. Because action kills hesitation and shuts down fear. The 3-second override teaches your brain a new pattern. Cue instantly triggers action. Every 3-second decision becomes evidence that you are fully in control before your feelings can interfere. The more you do it, the weaker the avoidance circuits become until they disappear. You reclaim control. Now for the practice. Daily discomfort rituals. You don't need a perfect routine. Many people stay stuck because they chase complexity, believing change requires an ideal setup. Real transformation comes from one thing: a deliberate act of discomfort every day. It's a micro battle against your brain's default programming. Examples include taking a cold shower, doing 100 push-ups, or doing 30 minutes of deep, distraction-free work. Waking up before sunrise, or committing to not touching your phone for the first hour of the day. Completing one difficult task before anything else. Why do these things work? Because every chosen discomfort sends a message to your brain. You don't decide, I do. These rituals reshape your neural pathways. Your brain learns that action comes before emotion. You are not training to feel ready. You are training until discipline becomes a built-in reflex. All lasting change starts from identity, not goals, not motivation. Your brain behaves according to who you believe you are. If you think, I'm lazy, your brain will find every piece of evidence to support it. Every hesitation reinforces that identity. But identity is not fixed. You are not lazy, you were trained to avoid pain. And you can reverse it. Identity shifts happen through small proofs. A difficult task done without motivation. Action creates evidence. Evidence creates identity. And a new identity leads to automatic action. The ultimate goal is not to finish a checklist or to feel motivated every morning. The goal is to become someone who consistently acts even when it's hard. A person who thrives under pressure. Someone who leads their brain instead of obeying it. That is who you are training yourself to become. Real change doesn't happen in a magical moment. It begins the instant you stop negotiating with your brain. Hesitation fades. Fear softens. Your brain shifts from resisting to following. From now on, you don't wait for motivation. You do the hard things because they build the person you aim to become. This is the moment the old version of you ends, and the new self finally begins.